linked, similar, you know. So that's a piece of it, I think. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm going to ask this question now. So why are you in ULN? What is the why behind ULN? Does anyone want to answer that question? Okay. I saw some dollar signs. Okay. Yes, there's the scholarship part. So obviously the scholarship is something that helps make, you know, coming to UT a reality. So.
For us, the talking about the selflessness was tied into that very question. So for us, it was like, you know, wanting to be the first person in a family that can go to college and become successful. For that, your younger siblings, your nieces and nephews or whatever can look up to you and be like, I want to be like her, I want to be like him. So in that case, I feel like ULN is giving people that opportunity to really inspire people. So I think that is a subset of why ULN exists, is to give people that personal strength, and like you were talking about personal narrative, you know, adding to their story, making it better and more true to who they are because of ULN.
Sierra, you have two.
So I'm in ROTC for Air Force, and one thing that they talk about in the military is it's not really about why you come, it's about why you stay. So a lot of people join the Air Force or the military because it's like a foundation and financial support, but end up staying 20, 30 years and retiring out of the military. And I think that also deems true for ULN, for me at least. So whenever I joined ULN, it was because spots opened up and I needed, you know, financial aid, but I stayed in ULN because of all of the different opportunities it presented to me. Because from how I started in college, I would have never taken those other chances, went out for an internship or went out into the community and volunteered and opened myself up to other people if it weren't for this organization that kind of required me to do so.
So that is one thing that I want to speak to, because I feel like a lot of times when you're a ULN student, you get caught up with, you know, the idea that this is just a scholarship program. And so for some of you, maybe it is, and you would have sought out those opportunities otherwise. But the reality is we really push you to seek out those opportunities, whether it's research, whether it is, you know, having an internship, becoming more involved in your community. Because we know what it takes once you get outside of the college setting to actually be successful. Because there's a lot of students who don't take full advantage of their lives when they're in college. There's many of your peers who are at the point of graduation, they haven't had an internship, they haven't been involved in research, they haven't gone out and done these things, and so when they go to career services and they, you know, are trying to make their resume, they don't really know what to put on there. And I know a lot of students who are in that same situation where they're going to walk out a degree from this, you know, elite public university, the University of Texas at Austin, and they're not going to be able to get a job. It's not easy getting a job, but it's those experiences, not just the merit of the degree, that is going to lead for you to have whatever position that you want to afterwards. You still have to put in the work in terms of like applying for jobs, so on and so forth. Absolutely, because you know it's still going to take something, but there is a reason why we had you do a lot of these things, and we know that sometimes you get annoyed with us. We know that sometimes, you know, it seems as if like you're angry or mad. Why do you have all these requirements? Why do I have to go to the senior showcase? Why is this elevator pitch important? So on and so forth. But at the end of the day, we do this because we know that it's going to have an impact on your lives. And that one word that I mentioned at the very beginning of the semester, and I'll continue to mention, is impact. And you heard it in this video as well, when you talk about your why. Because no matter what you're going to do, what I want to really focus on is that impact. That impact in, you know, whatever community agency that you want to work in, whether you're in the business, you know, realm, whether you want to be a lawyer, whether you want to be a doctor, or work in sales. Regardless of what you want to do, there's a way that you can do it where you can set your life up to have an impact on others in a positive way. And so that's what I'm all about, and that's what I hope you continue to strive for as you move forward and as you continue to grow as leaders. So that is the why discussion. So let's move on to a much less exciting topic, a semester overview of what you have to do to have an impact. I'm just kidding. Okay, so just a couple of updates. I have a couple of questions. So on Canvas, I want to make sure that you know that there's things that you can find on Canvas, because I still get emails from students regarding things that I know you can find on Canvas. And so one, where would you go if you can't attend a leadership speaker series?
The makeup section?
Yes, there is literally a makeup button that you push, and it gives you all the information that you need. And it'll give you the forms that you need to fill out. Obviously, if you're here, you don't have the full semester class that you have to take. But there are, if you're sick, if you have, this actually comes up a lot during the second semester, fourth year. If you have an interview, don't feel like you can't go to your interview to come to ULN. We understand that you're on an interview. But those different things that happen throughout the semester, like I know I had a student tell me that they had their Teach for America interview today, and they didn't know if they were going to be able to make it. So obviously that's something that, just make us aware of. But try to do it through the makeup assignments, because if I have all the students who can't attend email me, it's going to be hard for me to digest all that information, and it's in one spot. It tells me what I need to know, and so that's just to make my life easier, and so I can make sure that I respond to you in a timely manner. Okay, so new things for the Canvas page. Just note that there's a portion that's going to be about graduation information, and so there's nothing on there right now, but a lot of the stuff isn't really up anyways. So as you all inch closer to graduation, I'm going to have my interns, one of them right there, Syed, actually focus on adding all the different graduation stuff that you'll have to do. So like actually signing up for your graduation, who you'll need to talk to for each of the different colleges. So just make sure that you do have to register to graduate, if you haven't already done so. You do have to apply to walk, and so just make sure that you're aware of those things. I'm also holding walk-in hours. So this is something that's new this semester, and so it's going to be every Wednesday and Thursday, and so you can take down those times. And if you don't remember those times, just you can go onto the Canvas page. It's right under the header on the front page, on the front home page. Business casual. Not everyone that's in here is in business casual, but I do see a lot of you who continue to meet that requirement or that expectation. So just a reminder that you are supposed to be in business casual when you come here on Thursdays. And then fill in the front too, before you fill in other spaces. So just note that when you leave these small little crevices, it sometimes can be hard for some students to kind of get into, so just try to fill in as much as you can. And this is a much smaller room, so yeah. Graduation checks, so raise your hand if you've gotten a call from one of the UL1 team this semester. There should be several of you. Yes, and so we have a lot of students who are just making calls to, essentially it's anyone who's not at exactly 100% or wasn't at 100% progress towards degree, but that doesn't necessarily mean those students aren't going to graduate. Some of them it's just, we're just double checking to make sure that you're dotting your I's, crossing your T's, and everything's all good to go. So I'll be continuing to contact several of you just to kind of check in on that. There's also an assignment that I'll talk about soon that'll be kind of your graduation progress towards degree check. Okay? All right, so this semester at a glance, so we do have 4 leadership speaker series this semester. This is being your first, the kickoff. And then there's the 4 that will be following with the dates, and you can find the dates where?
On Canvas.
On Canvas, so there's a date page that's pretty clear. And it'll also list the topics as well. The reflection assignments that will be due, there'll be 4 as well. And so the January reflection was opened at 5 o'clock today, so when you go home, I know the first thing, once you leave this thing, you want to do your January reflection. But that's going to be due this upcoming Monday, the 22nd, so make sure that you get that in before that day ends. And then, again, a big focus of this the Leadership Speaker Series this semester will be on the transition and how to successfully make that. So I'm hoping to bring in several speakers for that. Not next week, but the following, making a transition one. So there's that. January scholarship money, or spring scholarship money. So most of you should have received your January scholarship already. If you have not, and you should have, shoot me an email. I will be catching up on emails tomorrow. So for those of you who have sent me an email, I'll get back to you tomorrow. And that's the list of them that you'll be able to find for when you're going to be paid your $500 for each of the different months. Notice you will get 2 different February disbursements, so just be aware of that. And that was primarily so we can get it in before the first of the month. The January one was just, we couldn't really give it out during the holiday season because the university is pretty much closed. So yeah. Yes.
Okay, so that's why I have to save you on the emails. If you think you didn't get your January money, double check that because it might have been lumped into your financial aid refund.
Yes, that's
so,
very true.
To save you some emails, check that first before you email back.
Yes. Wiser words were never spoken. Thank you, Sarah. So the January reflection, just a little note on that. That's focusing on future goals. It shouldn't take you too long to complete, but it's going to ask you for your 3 top goals for the spring, and that's just like academically things that you want to get done, so on and so forth. And then long term, well, maybe not long term, but like for this next upcoming year. And so that if you know what SMART goals are, or if you don't, there's a little portion on there as well that will actually tell you what SMART goals are. You don't have to follow it like to a T, but it might just be something to just think about if you haven't heard of it, just to kind of review that a little bit. But it shouldn't take you too long to do. And then, do you have any questions for me? Yes? No? No questions. So you 100% clear on what you need to do this semester? Yes? Awesome. I'm all good with no questions. And so before you leave, I have a short video, and we'll end on this.
This one goes out to the heroes! Every day, hero! Yeah, I'm talking to you. You probably are like, I'm not a hero, you're talking to the wrong person. And I'm all like, you're talking to your TV. Listen up, I think you're a hero and you don't even know it yet. Maybe you're like me, you look in the mirror and you don't really see a hero. You look and you just see a regular kid. Really good looking regular kid. But you're a hero. Whether you're a kid or a grown-up. You're way more than you might think you are. You're more than your problems and you're more than your mistakes. Somewhere inside, you're a hero. You might not have a cape or wear underwear outside your clothes. That's probably a good thing. You have everything right now to change the world. Everything! Heroes are just ordinary people who've done extraordinary things. They inspire other people to be extraordinary. People like Nathaniel. He's 12 years old and he's now okay with the fact that there are people in the world who don't have clean water. He raised enough money to help 30 schools in Central Africa. Max, when she was 15, she created a beauty pageant for boys and girls that have special needs because she wanted to celebrate real beauty. My friend Bob, he's 55 and he's living out love in so many different ways. Right now he's working on building a school so kids in Uganda know they're loved. Kids can change the world and grown-ups can change the world. It will go a whole lot faster if we work together. Heroes are made when ordinary people like you and me decide to be extraordinary. Or extraordinary. Extraordinary. That's too many extras. Here's what I'm trying to say. If you want to be awesome, treat people awesome. It's about strength. Not like picking up a car kind of strength. I pick it up in this traffic like, oh, he's so dirty, but so strong. Let them know. Heroes don't always know that you're heroes. We all need reminders. The little things that we do are a big deal. Heroes are people in our lives who see us what we really are. Awesome. Did you hear that? And then I said, you're awesome. You're right. You don't need a cape and you don't need money. You don't even need to be bitten by something radioactive. You just need to care. And if you are bitten by something radioactive, you should go to the doctor, sir. It'll make you pee green. It'll be cool to fly or be part spider or be part squirrel. I don't think part squirrel is a thing. Is that a thing? Like man squirrel? But you already feel more superpower. So don't wait for a signal in the sky. Look a little closer at the world around you. You're ready right now. It's time to be a hero that you're meant to be. Okay? What are you not okay with? Think about it. Now what do you have? And who can you bring with you? Everybody! 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 You have everything that you need to make someone's day more awesome. Someone may never told you this, but I promise it's true. The world needs heroes, and that hero could be you. That hero could be you. And that hero could be you. Let's do this.
All right. Have a good semester.